All right, guys, it's a review of match week 20. Long overdue. Today's Wednesday. And I know I should have done these, reactions already because there was a game on Monday, only one game, and I should have got it done on Monday. So that's my fault. But there were Carabao Cup matches on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I just said, you know what? Let me take my time, watch these highlights for the games I didn't see, and then come and actually, just give my 2 cents on match week 20, So it was quite an interesting match week, some unexpected results, and some very entertaining and exciting matches, to say the least, and, some big news stories as well, that I'll look into and give my thoughts on. So let's start with the first match, Tottenham versus Newcastle. I actually predicted a 3-1 win for Newcastle, ended in a 2-1 win for the Geordies. And in this game, actually, Spurs scored first to Dominic Solanke in the 4th minute. And then Anthony Gordon equalized in the 6th. And Alexander Isak in the 38th. So really good game, man. Good game of football. It seems like this game was played so long ago, because that's like 4 days ago. But it's only 4 days ago. But you know what I mean? I'm not going to delve too much into the details, and because I can't remember every single thing that happened in this match. But it must have been another frustrating day at the office for Ange Postecoglou, as, they were going through a very, very, very bad patch. Injuries, the results and all of that. But they did pick up a good result today against Liverpool in the cup match. So I'll talk about that, towards the end. So at least Spurs looking good in the Carabao Cup, and maybe that's a trophy they could win. Let's see. But that's a far-fetched idea as well when it comes to Spurs. But anyhow, Newcastle, they've been on fire. They've been just winning, scoring a lot of goals, not conceding many, and they have definitely hit form at the right time. This is the time of the season where you want to hit peak form, and you want to have your players fit, some of them coming back from injury, and Sven Botman, and they're looking like a well-oiled, a well-drilled unit for let's say, the final half of the season. Because right now, it's the final stretch. And Newcastle would want to keep, building on this momentum that they have currently, and they would want to finish strong in the Premier League this season. So they're 5th right now with 35 points. Very, very good. They've picked up 10 wins so far, 5 draws and 5 losses. As for Spurs, they're outside of the top 10, 12th with 24 points. Not the way Postecoglou and the people, the hierarchy in Spurs actually, envisioned their season, the progress after 20 games, that they'll only be 24 points. But listen, man, it's Spurs. What more could I say? It's Spurs. It's really cold outside, man. I think I should start the van because I turned it off to kind of save the gas. It's cold. It is cold. What is it saying on this display right now? 29 degrees, man. It is cold. It's probably colder than 29 degrees. So that's it for that match. I got the prediction correct, and big win for Newcastle. We're going to keep it moving. We got 9 more games, including as well as the Carabao Cup matches to talk about. So Bournemouth, Everton. I predicted a 2-0 win for Bournemouth. I know they would, pick up 3 points in this match, and it definitely ended in a Bournemouth win, 1-0. So in this game, the game's only goal was scored by Davy Brooks. His story is a very inspirational one as well, and Bournemouth went on to pick up all 3 points. But I must say that it could have been an uglier scoreline, because Jordan Pickford, man, some of the saves he pulled off in this game, he's the one that has basically, in my opinion, kept Everton in the Premier League and continue to, keep them competitive, because this man is a freak, I'm telling you. So Bournemouth had 19 shots at goal, 8 on target. For Everton, only 9 shots, none on target. They did have a few look-ins, but, Bournemouth definitely were the better team on the day, man, without a doubt. So Andoni Areola, I think that's his name, right? Iraola. What am I talking about Ariola? That's a West Ham goalkeeper. But Andoni Iraola and Bournemouth definitely their best start to a season. After 20 games, their best points tally. They're punching above their weight. They've been picking up some really good results against the more quality teams. And they're 7th in the league right now with 33 points, 1 point behind the defending champions, Manchester City. And that's a good, benchmark to test where you're at and how well you're doing. You're doing way better than Spurs, way better than West Ham, way better than Manchester United. It's self-explanatory, you know what I mean? Don't need to go deeper into that. Bournemouth are flying. They're flying. But with that being said, Everton on the other end of the spectrum, they're struggling. They're 16th in the league, 17 points. Ipswich are only 1 point behind, and they're in the relegation zone right now. So with another point picked up by Ipswich, they're right there breathing down Everton's necks if Everton don't pick up point. But Everton do have a better goal difference though. So with that being said, guys, we are going to keep it moving. Villa, Leicester. I predicted a 1-1 draw. Man, listen, man. My predictions were pretty on point this weekend, it seems, man. Pretty on point. Some weeks, my predictions are garbage. Other week, they're gold. So, but look, in this game, Aston Villa did come out champions. 58-minute goal by Ross Barkley. Steffi Madvididi in the 63rd, and then Leon Bailey with the winner in the 76th minute. So, started well with my first two predictions, but this one, Leicester dropped all 3 points again. This has been a very barren run for Ruud van Nistelrooy and Leicester City. And I don't know if they'll regret sacking Steve Cooper, because Steve Cooper got that know-how. You know what I mean? He knows how to get out of tough situations. He's been in the Premier League, but with Forest and now, Ruud van Nistelrooy is pretty raw. Pretty raw. So let's see if he's able to get Leicester out of this pickle that they're in right now. But good win for Aston Villa, though. Good win for Villa, Unai Emery and Villa. They've been, dealing with a lot of injuries right now. So they've now, they picked up some momentum recently, and they're basically struggling to hold on to that momentum. So Villa are 8th in the league. So last 5 with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. They do have 32 points. And in terms of Leicester, they're in the relegation zone, of course. 14 points. They're 19th. And they have lost their last 5 matches on the bounce. Are we going to see another sack in this season? It could happen. It's possibly going to happen, man. Because if Leicester continue in this vein, could see Van Nistelrooy getting a sack, and with Leicester trying to actually save their Premier League status, man. It's sad. It's just sad, you know what I mean? And that's what happens when you're forced to sell your better players. It sucks, man. It sucks. Even though Leicester won the Premier League and they started signing some really quality players, over the years, they've lost their better players to the big boys. You know what I'm saying? You think about a Riyad Mahrez, you think of N'Golo Kante, you just think about like a Harry Maguire when he was at Leicester. He was, I'm not going to use the word good, but let's not kid ourselves, man. Harry Maguire used to do his thing at Leicester. James Maddison comes to mind. Yuri Tillemans comes to mind. And the list goes on. Maybe I'm forgetting a few names, but, like a Ben Chilwell. Think about that. Think about a Ben Chilwell. Who else? Who else am I missing? Think about when a guy like Soyuncu was at his heights. So, and a few more players. Think about like when Drinkwater won the Premier League with Leicester and then went to Chelsea and wasn't the same player. So the list goes on, man. The list goes on. I could go on and on. Wesley Fofana, one of the latest casualties of that. Who else? The list goes on, man. I know I'm probably forgetting some of the names, but that's just been Leicester's story, man. And you got to give it up to players like Vardy, who basically stuck around, went down with them, came back up. And, you know, if some of the other players were basically a bit more loyal, maybe Leicester wouldn't have been going through what they're going through. Or maybe you could blame the owners. Who knows? Who's to be blamed for that? You know? But anyways, good win for Aston Villa. Crystal Palace Chelsea. I did predict a 2-1 win for Chelsea, but it seems as if the Blues cannot stop dropping points. They're going to the Blues right now, it seems. Because Chelsea were flying, man. And in my opinion, they look like the only team that were going to threaten Liverpool at that point in time in the season. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say anymore because Liverpool themselves are looking kind of shaky right now. So I don't really know what to say. But Chelsea dropped points again in this London derby on the road. 1-1 to Crystal Palace. Cole Palmer in the 14th minute. Jean-Philippe Mateta in the 82nd. And to be fair, you know, from watching the highlights, I did not watch this game live. It looked like a game of two halves where Crystal Palace were on fire in the second half. And they were putting a lot of pressure on Chelsea. And they deserved this goal, man. They really, really deserved this goal. Chelsea had 15 shots. 15 shots. 1 on target. The goal that Cole Palmer scored. Very poor. Very, very poor. 13 shots for Crystal Palace. 6 on target. And, you know, Chelsea, they're light. They're light. Shout-outs to the young defender making his debut. Acheampong. I don't know the guy, you know what I'm saying? But the Chelsea backline look kind of light, you know what I mean? I know they're very young, they're still developing, but they look really light. They're dealing with a lot of injuries right about now. But to be fair, you have a more experienced player like Disasi on the bench. Don't know how fit he is, really don't know. You know what I'm saying? So listen, man. Reece James is on the bench, Renato Vega is on the bench. Adabaraya, Tosin is on the bench. So don't know if these players are fully fit to start, but it comes down to choice of players. That's what it comes down to. So it is what it is, man. You know, I guess Chelsea get what they deserve. And maybe Maresca is losing the plot. Maybe the players are losing the plot. Maybe the rigors of the season is getting to Chelsea's young bunch. Maybe that's what it is. They're, however, 4th in the league with 36 points, and they have dropped points 4 matches on the bounce. Draw, loss, draw. 2 points in an available 12 points. That is poor. That is very, very poor, man. That is poor. 5 out of 15 in their last 5. And they were flying before that. That is poor. They have dropped 10 points in their last 4 games. That is not good. And that have really have them falling 10 points behind Liverpool, and Liverpool got a game in hand. You know, so falling by the wayside, man. Are the wheels falling off, or are they going to get their bearing pretty soon? We shall see. As for Crystal Palace, that's a great point for them. Oliver Glasner's team go up to 21 points after 20 matches. Points are trickling in. You know, they need to keep doing what they're doing. I think they have enough quality in their team to avoid relegation. Don't see that team getting relegated. They're Crystal Palace. They're going to be there in about 13, 15th. You know what I'm saying? 12, 13, 15, 14, 15. That, you know, that kind of position. The Crystal Palace is just, you know, one of those teams, man. One of those teams. But they definitely got the quality to threaten and upset some of the more powerful oppositions. With that being said, we're going to keep it moving. We've got a lot of games to talk about, and don't want to linger too long on every game. So the next game, Southampton 0, Brentford 5. I predicted a 3-1 win for Brentford. So quality prediction, if you ask me. Kevin Schade in the 6th minute, Brian Mbeumo in the 62nd and the 69th. Keane Lewis Potter in the 92nd. I think he just extended his contract as well. And Johan Wissa, who always want to be part of the party, and he scored in the 94th minute to make it 5-0. An embarrassing defeat for Southampton, and they just continue to sink even lower. They hit they hit the bottom of the ocean and still sinking through the sand. That's how low they've sunk, man. It is just sad what's become of Southampton, and they have themselves to blame too. They're a selling club. They always been a selling club, and they thought that they could keep, replacing the players that they sold, but after a while, the bottom gonna fall out, man. You know what I'm saying? Bottom definitely fell out. They got relegated, and it seems like they're gonna get relegated again. And with that relegation, I think they're gonna sell a few players as well. And one player that comes to mind, Tyler Diblin. He's gone. He's definitely gone this summer. So I can't really identify any other players that's part of that Southampton team that, other teams will be like really eyeing. But Tyler Diblin, springs to mind. Big win for Thomas Frank and Brentford. They needed that. They were going through somewhat of a, so-so kind of period where this is their first win in their last 5 matches. So let's just say in their last 5 matches, including this one, they have 1 win. So they needed that. But Brentford are a team that show promise every single game. Once you have Yo and Wissa and you have Mbeumo on the field, Brentford are going to be a threat. Definitely going to be a threat. They have a solid midfield. They've replaced their goalkeeper well. And, listen, since they got promoted, Brentford's just been a freaking quality team. I have all good things to say about Thomas Frank and Brentford. So they're 11th right now. And Southampton, as we know, they are at the bottom of the table with only 6 points. 16 losses so far this season. That is not good. So next up, guys, we have my team, Manchester City versus West Ham. I predicted a 3-1 win. I was quite confident that Pep Guardiola and his boys are going to go out there and do the business. Kevin De Bruyne's 400th match for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola's 501st game, and it was one to celebrate. A W. And it was a big W as well. So in this game, Man City won 4-1. And it's a good thing I delayed the reaction from match week 20, because I was actually just scrolling through my phone this afternoon and I saw that, the news broke that West Ham parted ways with Julian Lopetegui. I was like, oh boy, wasn't expecting that. The thing about West Ham is that, I don't know, they have a lot of unrealistic expectations at that club. They envy, I think they envy the bigger clubs. Like they want to be, I think they're like a wannabe Spurs. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm using Spurs as an example is that they're not going to win nothing like Spurs. They spend a lot of money like Spurs. You see what I'm saying? They get very mixed results like Spurs. They'll pop up and shock you with a big win like Spurs, and then they'll act like, they don't know how to play football, like Tottenham Hotspur. You see what I'm saying? So I think West Ham are just a wannabe Spurs, if you ask me. And that's not a good thing. That is definitely not a good thing. So in this game, Vladimir Kufal own goal, Savinho, with the shot. Savinho has been on fire, though. For the new year, for the last couple games, Savinho has been on fire. He's definitely giving me Riyad Mahrez vibes. You see what I'm saying? So Savinho has been on fire. Erling Haaland, man, the 42nd minute, that... Listen. That was an exquisite ball, man. God damn. Savinho again. Haaland in the 55th and Foden in the 58th. Nicholas Fulkrug did pull one back in the 72nd. Consolation goal, to say the least. Put a blemish on Ortega's clean sheet there. And I think Ortega should remain Manchester City's goalkeeper. No more Edison, in my opinion. No more Edison. I think we should just stick to Ortega. Edison will be the backup. And next season, he can leave. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ungrateful, but it is what it is. It's a business. It's a business. I know it's entertainment, but it's also the entertainment business. And we can't be fooling around with Ederson running off his line like a madman every single game, taking out players, giving out penalties, you know, not giving himself the best chance to make saves, and he gets beaten way too easily. I'm not saying he's not a good you know, player. He's not a good passer of the ball. He doesn't make good saves. I'm not saying that. But all in all, I think the bad overshadows the good. Seriously. And I think a solid defense definitely makes Ederson look a lot better than he is. I know I've had a lot of arguments for Ederson in the past, but I can't pick up for you no more, bro. Seriously. You have gotten really annoying and you pissed me off. So, with that being said, guys, big win for Manchester City. It looks like City are back. Looks like the form is picking up. That's 2 wins on the trot. And there's 18 matches left. Don't make me go down this road here, right? 18 matches left. 18. Okay? 18 and 18 and 18 is 54 points. 54 points. If Manchester City wins every remaining match, just hear me out. Hear me out. They'll finish with 88 points. And if City go on a mad run like that, I'm just saying, if they go on a 20 match winning streak like that, best believe Liverpool would fold and crumble under that pressure. Do not write off Manchester City. Do not write off Pep Guardiola. This could be a season where it's not a high points tally season. It could be like all the teams start going through bad patches and the winner gets like 80 points. You see what I'm saying? It could be one of those seasons. So let's not call it yet. You know, I was quick to kind of like call it, but I don't know. I really don't know. Seriously. I don't know. I don't know if to call it yet, man. You know, it's a 12-point gap between City and Liverpool right now. Liverpool got a game in hand. But I've seen Manchester City close them kind of gaps before. I'm just saying. But anyways, I don't want to, you know, linger too much on this match. West Ham have definitely sacked Julian Lopetegui and appointed Graham Potter as their manager. So Graham Potter back in the Premier League. He should have never left Brighton. Should have never gone to Chelsea. And now he's back at West Ham, where who knows what he's going to do at West Ham. Maybe he'll do big things. But it'll just be things that he did at Brighton, which is like, think about it. Brighton didn't win nothing. West Ham ain't going to win nothing. It's going to be the same old West Ham, in my opinion. Seriously. It's going to be the same old West Ham. And now that I think about it, I would not have been surprised if Spurs sacked Postecoglou and hired Graham Potter. But he's now at West Ham. So, let's see. But with that being said, guys, I did predict that game correctly. Let's keep it moving. Brighton Arsenal. I predicted a 2-2 draw. I predicted a 2-2 draw. I just had this feeling, man. I just had this feeling that, you know, Brighton were going to pick up something against Arsenal, and they did pick up a 1-1 draw. Ethan Nwaneri in the 16th minute. Good goal. I think that is first goal. It might be his first Premier League goal or second or something. Not 100% sure. But the penalty, which earned Brighton a point, was very controversial, to say the least. When you look at it, you know, João Pedro, you know, controlling the ball, flicking it up, then attempting, you know, to head his flick up. Think about it. Isn't that a 50-50 duel? Like, Saliba is supposed to try to win that ball. You see what I'm saying? So it happened like so quickly. And maybe Saliba should have just like pulled out and reacted to what happened. Like maybe, you see what I'm saying? Maybe try to cover the ball in a way. Maybe he should have focused on the ball a bit more, like anticipate what was going to happen instead of try to head it, and he headed, João Pedro instead. I could see why they gave it a penalty, and I could also see why Arsenal and their fans are also aggrieved of, conceding that penalty and ultimately conceding that goal that earned Brighton a point in this game. But Arsenal, I think, did not play well enough to win the match. Okay, fine. Brighton score. Brighton equalize. It's 61 minutes gone. Tell me how Arsenal can score another goal. You see what I'm saying? So they're really missing Bukayo Saka. And in this game, Arsenal, they didn't even start with Martin Odegaard. I think there was a sickness going around the Arsenal team. He may not have been 100%. He came off the bench. Martinelli came off the bench. And you look around their bench, they didn't really have enough players that could make a positive effect in the final third of the field. You see what I'm saying? It's only Martinelli and Odegaard, and that's who Mikel Arteta turned to. He had Merino, Jorginho, Declan Rice on the field. So it's like Arsenal looking a bit light there. What happened to Raheem Sterling? Is he still injured? That's just looking like a wait signing right now. But Arsenal looking suspect. Not good results. They were on a winning streak, 3 on the bounce, but when they were picking up some steam, they dropped points. And the thing is, you're going to go ahead and drop points on the same match day where Liverpool actually dropped points as well. So if Arsenal had won their game, they would have been on 42 points, only 4 points behind Liverpool. You know how little a 4-point gap is? It would have only been a 4-point gap. And if Liverpool slip up again and Arsenal win, it would have closed. You see? To like a 1-point gap, but Liverpool with a game in hand. But still. So it's moments like these that define Arsenal's season, our team's season, where you fail to build and keep that momentum going, and then at the end of the season, when you're coming in second by 3-4 points, 2 points, you say, damn, if we had only won that game. You see what I mean? So kudos to Brighton. They definitely needed some points. They're 10th right now. They've drawn all their last 4 matches. They need to get back to winning ways, but it's still a positive, those are still positive results to pick up these points. They're 28 points so far. They ain't got to worry about being relegated. They can continue build on the team that they've developed over the years since they first got promoted under Chris Hughton. That seems like so long ago, you know what I mean? Chris Hughton? Who is Chris Hughton? Like, damn. Seems like so long ago. But with that being said, guys, Arsenal second, 40 points. They playing their ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But anyways, Fulham Ipswich, I predicted a 1-1 draw, and this game definitely ended in a draw, but it was a high-scoring 2-2 draw, very entertaining match, and you got to give it up to Ipswich, man. They're doing the damn thing. So in this game, Sammy Schmadix in the 38th, Raul Jimenez from the penalty spot in the 69th, and then it was just, you get a penalty, you get a penalty, you get a penalty, you get a penalty. Oh, that's not a penalty. So I think a penalty was chalked off in this game, if I'm not mistaken, or something. I can't even remember, man. It doesn't even matter. Whatever. So you got Jimenez scoring a brace in this match, Schmadix and Delap for Ipswich Town, as Kieran McKenna and his boys picked up another positive result here, and they're just like almost out of the relegation zone. It's like they keep picking up these good results, a win in their last game, a draw in this game, and they're still in the relegation zone. So they have 16 points, same tally as Wolves, 1 behind Everton. You know, they have 5 behind Crystal Palace. All they need to do is to keep picking up these results, and, you know, we might see a photo finish at the end between these teams. So all the best to Ipswich, man. They're definitely fighting, and they're not a pushover. Definitely not. So for Fulham, they would see this as a setback. They would look at Ipswich as a team that they should have beaten, but it's still a step in the right direction. No losses in their last 5 matches for the Cottagers. So kudos to Marco Silva and his boys. You know, I know there's a lot of things that I probably missed that I'm not talking about, but I'm only one man, and I'm basically going off memory from watching the highlights and just talking about the teams and the progress and giving my thoughts. So, guys, Liverpool, Manchester United, man. I'm not even going to save the game for last, as usual. And I'm not even going to spend a long time on the game. I'm going to spend about 2, 3, 4 minutes on this game, man. I predicted a 5-0 win for a 5-0 win for Liverpool. 5-0. And I gotta say this. I'm very, very disappointed. Very disappointed in Liverpool. Very disappointed. And if you Liverpool fans tell me that you're not disappointed, you're a goddamn liar. Because United have been at their worst ever position, points tally, in about the last 40 years. This is the worst they've ever been. And Liverpool allowed United to go to Anfield, of all places, and pick up a point, yet alone almost won the game. If Harry Maguire was a lot better, if Harry Maguire was only a better footballer, United would have won that game. It would have been a 3-2 affair. United fans would have celebrated, and the players would have celebrated. They would have run around the field. You know, they would have probably pull out what you call it. What's his name again, man? What's his name? That did the thing. Oh man, the former Spurs, Emmanuel Adebayor. You know, you would have probably pulled that Emmanuel Adebayor. You see? They would have probably did it. They would have probably run from one end of the field to the other end and back. They would have celebrated if they had defeated Liverpool. Guys, I'm not even exaggerating. United have been horrible. And you guys know this. So horrible that I predicted a 5-0 walkover. But they went to Anfield, and to be completely honest, they were the better team. I cannot sugarcoat this. Liverpool should have lost that game. United drew first blood, 52nd minute. Cody Gakpo to Lisandro Martinez, of all players, a defender, breached Liverpool's defense, scored a spectacular goal. Cody Gakpo with an even more spectacular finish in the 59th. And then Salah went ahead through a penalty, controversial penalty. I think that was De Ligt with the handball, close range. You know, I see things online that say that similar handballs or this weren't given earlier stages of the season. The Premier League refereeing is very, 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 very inconsistent. We know that. You know what I'm saying? Well, Liverpool were the beneficiary. So if Liverpool are going to say that refereeing decisions are against them, that one definitely went for Liverpool. But Amad Diallo scored a goal in the 80th minute. From the highlights, I was, watching the highlights. It's kind of scrappy. I was watching the game, but I was kind of distracted watching the game. Very distracted. You know? I was kind of disappointed in Liverpool, to be honest. I'm like, how are they not winning this game? Why are they even struggling in this game? Behind, equalize, ahead, give up the lead. You see what I'm saying? Like, how, man? How? This is not a Liverpool team that have been flying so far this season. I'm like, nah, this is not the same team. Definitely not the same team. Man United should have won it, but you got to give credit to players like Diallo. Bruno Fernandes had a solid game. But Liverpool, I think, they started strongly, but they just weren't finishing their chances. And you got to give credit to Andre Onana as well. He was massive, pulled off a lot of big saves. But overall, Liverpool weren't clinical enough in the initial stages of the match. And they paid for it. Picked up 1 point, almost lost. Almost lost. Is it a setback? Yes, it is a setback. Because Liverpool should have been further ahead of Arsenal, seeing that Arsenal dropped points, so they really can't capitalize on that. So the same way we went into match week 20 is the same way we're going into match 21 in terms of the difference between Liverpool and Arsenal. So yeah. Don't want to elaborate much more, but I have to say, look, it's been a tough period for Ruben Amorim, new manager, and what he has endured there for United is pretty tough, man. 3 losses on the bounce, and now a win that should have, a win. That draw is definitely a win, but a draw that should have been a loss, in my opinion, according to form and the merit. They picked up a valuable point. Man United are 13th in the league. They just can't shake off that 13th place. Liverpool, top of the league, 46 points, only 1 loss in the league this season, 4 draws. But these are the things that can hurt Liverpool. These draws always have hurt Liverpool in the past, man. Let's say they draw their next 3 matches, right? Or let's say 3 out of 4 matches, Liverpool. 3 out of 5, they draw. And they win 2. Right? They win 2. That's 9 points. They'll go up to 55 points. And in that same 9 points, and in that same 5 match run, just hear me out. The same 5 match spell. Let's say Manchester City, for example, win all their matches. City go up to 49 points. And Liverpool would be on 55 points. Just hear me out, man. Hear me out. So you see the gap closing in right there? So these draws are very, 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 very detrimental. And Liverpool, they need to win their games. They need to keep winning and keep applying the pressure and keep distancing themselves from teams like Manchester City. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Newcastle. Forest. I'm just saying, these teams are consistently good. But anyways, I think that's it for that game. United would feel proud of that point, and Liverpool would feel like, yeah, they missed an opportunity to defeat their bitter rivals and continue to stamp their authority on top of the Premier League table. Don't get me wrong, there's still authority there, but I think you gotta be a bit more relentless when you're going for titles. Liverpool seemingly have forgotten how to win titles in the last 34 years. I'm just saying, man. And that's not a shot, that's just facts. Last but not least, guys, Wolves versus Forest. I predicted a 2-0 win for Forest. It ended in a 3-0 win for Nuno Espirito's Nottingham Forest. Morgan Gibbs-White in the 7th minute, Chris Wood in the 44th, and Taiwo Awoniyi with some over-the-top celebrations there with that goal in the 94th minute. It was a tap in Taiwo. You got to chill. But he got to celebrate. He has not been starting a lot of games because of Chris Wood's red-hot form. So Wolves under Vitor Pereira here suffer a minor setback in their quest to distance themselves from the relegation zone. But kudos to Forest. They've won, I think, their last 6 matches in a row, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of their last 5, they have won every single match. So let's keep it at their last 5. Let's not complicate things. But that's a great record right there, man. They're 3rd in the league, 40 points. Ain't got to worry about relegation. And they have 18 matches to go. Could they continue this momentum? They're tied on points with Arsenal, with only Arsenal's better superior goal difference separating the 2 teams. Could they continue this momentum and actually finish above you know, the likes of Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester City. Who knows, man? Could they get Champions League football next season? It's only left to be seen. Could we see Nottingham Forest back amongst the big boys again? Remember, Nottingham Forest does have a European title, if I'm not mistaken. So, the European royalty. Could they get back to where they used to be? It's only left to be seen. So, guys, I know there's been a few transfers. I'm not going to get into that right about now. But in terms of the EFL Cup matches, just to give my quick 2 cents, run through the results. Spurs 1, Liverpool 0. Lucas Bergvall in the 86th minute. And I know Liverpool fans are going to say that Bergvall should have received a yellow card. He should have been on the field. I understand that, but he shouldn't have got the first yellow card in the first place. So it kind of evens itself out, if you ask me. You know, he goes on to score, but maybe your team should have defended the goal a lot better. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really look at life like that. You see what I'm saying? Maybe if I had freaking bought Bitcoin 10 years ago, I would have been a millionaire, and I'm not here talking to you right now. But I'm here talking to you right now. This is the way it was meant to be. Anyway, Spurs win the first leg 1-0. The second leg in a few weeks at Anfield. May the best team win. Arsenal, they lost to Newcastle yesterday in the first leg. And that was a home game for the Gunners. And they lost 2-0, courtesy of goals from Isaac and Anthony Gordon. Both goal scorers from the last matches. These guys, these talismanic figures are, you know, catapulting Newcastle to higher heights. They have won, I think, the last 7 matches. They've been on fire, man. So give it up to Newcastle. I would love to see a Spurs-Newcastle final, because you know what? It means that we would have a nice fresh winner of the EFL Cup, a team who has not won. Did Newcastle win a trophy recently? I think they have, you know. But anyways, you get the point I'm trying to make. You know what I'm saying? You get the point I'm trying to make. Didn't Newcastle win something recently? I think, didn't they win something? Let me see, man. I can't even remember, man. I can't even remember. Time flies so fast these days, man. I could swear maybe they almost won something. I think they almost won something, but they didn't win. They didn't win nothing recently, man. You know? Yeah, they didn't win anything recently, but they got close. I think they played in a final recently. I think a final against City. I'm not sure. I can't remember, man. I really can't remember. You know? But, yeah. I definitely... Yeah, the last time Newcastle have won a trophy, let me tell you guys. Newcastle honors, right? So, cup match. The last time they won a cup match, FA Cup 1954-55, and the runners-up. Yeah, I know they were in the runners-up. Yeah, I knew they were the runners-up, man. Yeah, it was actually against Manchester United. I knew they were the runners-up recently. So, could they get back to the final, and could they win the Mickey Mouse Cup this year? It is what it is. It is what it is. But guys, I'm so happy I got this video done. I've been procrastinating, I've been delaying, and I'm happy I got it done. And now I could, you know, rest easy and enjoy some FA Cup action on the weekend. You know, I'm not going to go through the FA Cup games. I'm not going to make any predictions. Should I? I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think so. But definitely my next video may be an FA Cup reaction, or a FA Cup / Week 21 predictions. It's coming. So I thank you guys for watching this video. I've had a long day. I'm tired. I'm going to go into, you know, chill out a bit, watch some Netflix, maybe I watch some Disney Plus, you know what I mean? There's this show, there's a Star Wars show on Disney Plus called The Skeleton Crew. I've been watching that, so maybe I'll go and check that out. But guys, I'm your boy Dam. This is Dominic Rich FC. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you haven't yet done so. Let me know if I missed any major talking points down below. I know I missed things. I'm not perfect. But until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Guys, we talk soon, man.